Many of our Hollywood favorites do not have the awesome personalities we think they possess. From Tom Cruise's terrible behavior to liars like David Bowie, these are the 10 biggest jerks in Hollywood history. Number 1. William Shatner. If you love the famous Star Trek character Captain Kirk, I'm sorry to tell you that the actor who played the role, William Shatner, is one of the biggest jerks in Hollywood. Shatner was known to demean his co-stars, and he behaved badly towards all of them. It was so bad that most of the Star Trek cast had to report his attitude problem. William Shatner had a nonchalant attitude and didn't care much about his colleagues. This became evident when he missed Leonard Nimoy's funeral and was infamously called Captain Jerk for that. Missing an old buddy's funeral explains the kind of person William Shatner was beyond the screen, and that is just one of several instances. Being an A-list star, Shatner was present at conventions, but not many people, both fans and co-stars, looked forward to seeing him. There was a time at a Star Trek convention when Denise Crosby was answering some questions, and Shatner shouted down at her whenever she tried to answer any question. That moment highlighted what working with William Shatner during filming must have been like. Even Wil Wheaton, another co-star on Star Trek, revealed how William Shatner gave him a dose of his bad attitude while they filmed Star Trek. At the time, Wheaton was only 16 years old, and he talked about how Shatner mocked his costume and wasn't even sorry about it. Thankfully, other Star Trek cast members comforted Wheaton and helped him return to his trailer. They also told him not to let the unpleasant encounter get to him, stating that Shatner was a jerk. Number 2. Tommy Lee Jones. One of the many complaints about Tommy Lee Jones, especially from his fans, was that he rarely signed an autograph. He was also known for cutting people off rudely and walking out on them when they asked him for an autograph or when journalists asked to interview him. Whenever Tommy Lee Jones granted an interview, he always showed up in a bad mood. In fact, there was a time when he made a reporter cry during an interview session with GQ magazine, all while using his hands to crack walnuts. Talk of being a jerk 101. Tommy Lee Jones's bad character also extended to his co-stars. During the filming of Batman Forever, the 77-year-old once told fellow actor Jim Carrey that he hated him. In his words, Tommy Lee Jones said, "I hate you, I really don't like you. I cannot sanction your buffoonery." This happened when Jimmy entered a restaurant and approached Lee Jones to greet him while sitting alone. Another actor, Josh Brolin, said that during the set of the movie No Country for Old Men, Tommy Lee Jones carried an aura that made everyone tense around him, and he always found a way to make every day on the set the worst day of their lives. Number 3. Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball was an American actress who kept delivering spectacular performances on each project over the course of her remarkable career. She was so good, her performances got her nominated for the Primetime Emmy Awards 15 times, and she won 5 of these nominations. Unfortunately, Lucille Ball was only a wonderful actress, not a wonderful person. A fan once claimed to have been in the same airplane as Lucille Ball, and she was consistently rude during the flight. According to this fan, Lucille Ball called a male flight attendant her servant, and when the flight attendant stood up for himself, she threatened him by saying she could easily have him fired since she holds his job in her hands. This was not the only flight attendant incident we experienced with Lucille Ball, by the way. She once threw a cup of hot coffee in a flight attendant's face and was known to always display supercilious traits to anyone she deemed to be below her. Even other celebrities like Richard Burton do not like Lucille Ball's attitudes. Richard Burton is one of the people who is not deceived by the charms we all see on television. Richard Burton once described Lucille Ball as humorless, a monster, and someone who cut other people off during her weekly shows. In E! Mystery and Scandal / True Hollywood Story, a large percentage of her staff described her as cold and very controlling. Even her own mother called her out for being a jerk, but Lucille responded that she was only a jerk while at work. So perhaps she was only being a jerk so she could not be interrupted and focus better at work. Still, other events, such as her encounters with flight attendants, suggest otherwise. Number 4. Keifer Sutherland. If you have seen the famous Fox drama series 24, then you know Keifer Sutherland. He is one person that most people won't forget, especially the people who have been around him and interacted with him on several occasions. In the real world, Sutherland is a reckless person. He's known to have several DUI charges and drunk disorderly behavior charges to his name. The young gun star was arrested 4 times on DUI charges between 1987 and 2007, and was even sentenced to prison due to his active drunkenness. Still, that is not the main reason why Sutherland is a jerk. Keifer Sutherland is a challenging person to work with, and his co-stars do not like his work ethic and professionalism. Freddie Prinze Jr., the American actor who starred in famous movies and series like Friends and Boston Legal, was Sutherland's co-star in 24. Freddie labeled Sutherland as very unprofessional and stated that he never liked working with Sutherland. In fact, Freddie Prinze used the word hated to describe his feelings about working with Sutherland. To top it all off, Sutherland's unprofessionalism was so terrible that Freddie considered quitting acting altogether. What a loss that would have been to the entertainment world. Contrary to Freddie's beliefs and comments on Keifer Sutherland's behavior, other co-stars in the series came out to defend Sutherland. They said he's a professional actor, stating that they do not understand Freddie's position. Even Sutherland himself responded to Freddie's comments. What really transpired isn't very clear, but if what Freddie said turns out to be true, then that makes Keifer Sutherland much of a huge jerk. Number 5. Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is a 59-year-old actor from Wellington, New Zealand, famously known for his roles in The Insider, The Gladiator, Robin Hood, and the critically acclaimed movie Les Miserables. Throughout his illustrious career, he won the Academy Award, the Golden Globes, and BAFTA Awards. However, being a great actor is not the only famous aspect of Russell Crowe's life. The Gladiator star is equally famous for his notoriously bad temper, which can flare up anytime. One of the infamous happenings regarding his bad temper was in 1999 when he kissed a man who was trying to settle him down when he had an altercation with someone. He also once flared up and threw a telephone at the front desk clerk. In fact, over the years he has been reported to pick up altercations many times with many different people. As a result, a lot of directors try to steer clear of working with him. And those who eventually do always find him hard to work with because he is too opinionated. Whenever he doesn't like something, he just gets into his annoying groove. Once during the Gladiator shoot, he walked out from the set after he expressed that he didn't like some lines in the script. He also acts and talks rudely to those on set with him. He once called a producer at 3 in the morning using cuss words. However, this act was later found to be an altruistic act, as he was only fighting for his assistant. Still, there are better ways to stand up for someone. Crowe not only makes headlines because of bad tempers, but also makes waves by being a jerk and just obnoxious. He equally badmouths other stars like him whenever he has the chance to. He once called the famous star George Clooney a Frank Sinatra wannabe. Badmouthing coworkers, flaring up anytime, misbehaving, and speaking rudely to anyone and everyone are the ingredients that make up a jerk, and Russell Crowe has all that aplenty. Number 6. David Bowie. David Bowie is an English musician and actor who lived from 1947 to 2016. The Hollywood icon was generally regarded as a longtime jerk in real life. He seemed to have made a name for himself as a jerk, just as he has carved a name for himself in the entertainment industry. The Hall of Fame awardee was accused of having sex with an underage girl in 1978 and then later faced rape allegations in 1987. David Bowie had issues with his fans. Most of his fans who have met him described him as rather rude and someone who was much of a snub. Moreover, he was always a liar above all. He once admitted that he lied about being queer. However, some have come out to say that he was probably confused about his sexuality. Further, apart from his 1987 case, David Bowie was accused of rape and had 3 counts of sexual assault against underage girls. It's widely accepted that David being a jerk was not only about his obnoxious characteristics and his pedophiliac behaviors. His point of view was also problematic and disturbing for most people. He made controversial statements that supported Hitler and what he stood for. However, he did later come out to say that he was high on drugs and was in character when he made that statement. Regardless, being the public figures that famous actors are, being high on drugs and making statements that support Hitler's ideology should be a stretch. Number 7. Tom Cruise. The A-lister of all A-listers. Tom Cruise cuts from the old generation Hollywood star into the new generation stars, and he doesn't seem to be held back. Time after time, he shows on the screen that he is a name that will be remembered forever in the movie industry. But his acting prowess on screen is not the only thing he will be remembered for. Tom Cruise has been known to many to be much of a jerk, just as he is an excellent actor. The evidence of Tom Cruise being a jerk is apparent right from his home. He sets very weird and strange ground rules for his wife in their home. You'd think the rules are only binding in their marriage, but it is not. Even outside of marriage, Katie Holmes, his wife, could not speak to any other men, nor could she take time out with their daughter. Also, she was not to come in contact with Nicole Kidman, who at the time was Tom Cruise's partner, but now his ex. Tom Cruise also sets hard rules when he's filming. Many have claimed that his rules have made him somewhat difficult to work with. He also has no problem removing people from their source of livelihood. He infamously fired 21 pilots filming the sequel of Top Gun. It would also seem that Tom Cruise does not respond very well to pranks. There was a time when a reporter carried out a prank by spraying water on his face with a microphone which wasn't really a microphone. The intention of this act was innocuous and meant only to generate humor, but Tom Cruise was not going to have any of that. He had the reporter arrested. Furthermore, many have criticized him for his beliefs in Scientology. The problem isn't really much about his beliefs, but how he enforces them and makes it difficult for other people not to conform to their dogma. He famously told Navy sailors not to look at him during the filming of Top Gun 2. Shows how much he respects the US frontline heroes. He also seemed to speak condescendingly to his crew when filming. During the filming of Mission Impossible 2, he was reported to have yelled at his cast crew, using cuss words and threatening to fire them. However, many opinions about Tom Cruise's behavior have mostly been divided. Many have claimed that he is equally a cool-headed person, and some others have said that he only comes off as a jerk because he demands excellence and is much of a perfectionist. However, in his quest for excellence, he might come off as rude to some people. Number 8. Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis, who lived from 1927 to 2017, was an American actor and comedian. His first big break into being regarded as somewhat of a star came in 1950, when he began to rotate as the weekly host of the talk show The Colgate Comedy Hour. Later in his career, he went on to star in movies such as Road to Bali, At War with the Enemy, Living It Up, Three-Ring Circus, and many more. However, what we know of the famous comedian on screen and even of his humanitarian work is not everything there is to know about him. The famous comedian was equally famous for being a celebrity jerk. Once in an interview with Wake Up Report, he responded to a carefully laid out interview question with a one-word reply or just a short phrase. His response never really got past the 10-word mark. Having a sound character was the main problem with Jerry Lewis. His attitude and character have been described by many as asinine and an egotistical asshole. Dom Evans, one of the front-runners of disability advocacy in the media, reported that Jerry Lewis was a jerk who had said a lot of unfiltered, unprintable, and hateful comments about those living with disabilities and gay people. The comedian also had sexual assault charges that breathed down his neck. In a Vanity Fair expose, a mini-documentary series, Jerry Lewis's co-star in movies revealed that the Hollywood legend sexually harassed and assaulted them. One of them described that he once masturbated in front of her during the filming of The Ladies' Man in 1961, after he lured and locked her in his changing room. This was the kind of person Jerry Lewis was. Number 9. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is an 86-year-old American actor and comedian. He is most famous as the presenter of the television show The Cosby Show, which ran from 1984 to 1992. In 1966, he became the first ever African-American to win a Primetime Emmy Award for his role in I Spy. Many know him as a sitcom idol. His big break into stardom came when he starred as the host of The Cosby Show. But Bill Cosby is not the darling as portrayed on screen. Evidence of his unlikable characteristics is inferred as many Hollywood celebrities and old stars always give reserved and vague comments whenever they are asked about Bill Cosby. They easily could have described him in perfect light if he was a great person to work with. On the other hand, the host of the television talk show The Nightly Show seemed unfeathered to call Bill Cosby a jerk. He expressed that he could recall a time when he was nasty and mean to his mother and himself when they approached him for an autograph. Bill isn't only mean to those who come to him for autographs, but he also exhibits those characteristics with reporters. A video of him once made the rounds on the internet, showing him bullying a reporter who interviewed him. He gave mostly short phrases as answers and then, at the end, expressed that the interview should not go on air. Further, just like many other old Hollywood jerks, Bill Cosby had rape allegations. Bill Cosby was accused of drugging Andrea Constand to the point of paralysis and then sexually abusing her. Andrea Constand, the accuser, claimed that Bill Cosby sexually assaulted her when she was 17 in the year 2000. Further evidence surfaced to show that Bill, at the time, instructed his agency to arrange for teenage girls with whom he might have sex. Bill Cosby was convicted of rape allegations and sexual assaults charge in 2018. Many have come out to claim that it is likely that Bill Cosby is indeed guilty due to the characteristics people have known him to exhibit. Bill Cosby himself later came out to say that he admitted to putting lotion on Andrea's private part. Although Bill was cleared of all charges by the Supreme Court in 2021, regardless, the fact still remains that Bill's actions and behaviors paint him as a colossal jerk in Hollywood. Number 10. Jared Leto. Jared Leto is a 52-year-old American actor and musician. He is one of the big A-list stars in Hollywood and has appeared in very famous movies over the years. If you have seen movies like Morbius, Suicide Squad, Alexander, Dallas Buyers Club, Blade Runner, and Prefontaine, amongst many others, then you have seen Jared Leto on your TV screen. He's also a decorated actor and has prestigious awards such as the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes. All of these are a testament to his brilliant acting. However, beyond the screen, there lies a not-so-good trait that he exhibits in real life. Jared Leto has been regarded as a jerk on set. This is due to his commitment to method acting, which has left him obnoxious to other actors, as he tries to stay in character even when not filming. To understand how this must be off-putting for his fellow stars, you first have to imagine how much of a jerk the Joker was in the Joker movie. Then you have to go ahead and see Jared acting like the Joker in real life when they were not filming. That is how his method acting has gone a long way to paint him as rude and as a jerk to his co-stars. Ego is another one of his problems. Many fans have come out to say that Jared Leto has an air of entitlement and is egotistical. Although this is not much surprising, as many Hollywood A-list stars of old all carry a sense of ego. However, Jared Leto's ego seems to carry on to his character and how he generally behaves to people, especially his fans, who have tagged him as being much of a douchebag. There was a time when he told a fan to fuck off after the fan asked for his autograph and complimented his movie. Also, Jared himself has admitted that he sometimes lied to reporters when interviewed. Not only that, he also acts rudely to reporters. There was a time when he responded to a reporter with unprintable words and then rudely left the interview before any other questions could be asked. And there you go. That's the 10 biggest jerks in Hollywood history. Which of these stars' behaviors surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments section below.